Hello there. I want to talk to you a little bit about obviously the kidnappings in Cleveland, which have really rocked the news, hasn't it? And it's really rocked the world, really, and how someone could be kidnapped for such a long time and go unnoticed. Well, obviously, there's a lot more other things in the news other than that, which generally shock people. And a lot of people ask, why do such things happen in the first place? Why? Well, to be perfectly honest, we shouldn't be surprised by what we see in the world today and what we see in the news, because it was actually prophesied in the Bible. And if you want to follow along with this verse in your own Bible, it's found in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 to 5. I'll read that to you. It says, "But know this, that in the last days, critical times hard to deal with will be here. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, self-assuming, haughty, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, disloyal, having no natural affection, not open to any agreement, slanderers, without self-control, fierce, without love of goodness, betrayers, headstrong, puffed up with pride, lovers of pleasures rather than lovers of God, having a form of godly devotion but proving false to its power, and from these turn away." And obviously, that does sort of generally describe what we see in the news today, doesn't it? The attitudes of people, particularly that fierce certainly seems to accurately describe the people who kidnapped in Cleveland. So, again, we shouldn't be surprised about some of the other things that we see in the news. Obviously, we see things like floods and earthquakes, and obviously war plays a big part as well, particularly in Syria and so on. And in Matthew 24, I'll read that to you. And if you want to follow along in your own Bible, certainly please do. And from verse 3 onwards, it says, "While he was sitting upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples approached him," that's Jesus, privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be, and what will be the sign of your presence and of the conclusion of the system of things?" And in answer, Jesus said to them, "Look out that nobody misleads you, for many will come on the basis of my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will mislead many. You are going to hear of wars and reports of wars, and see that you are not terrified. For these things must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be food shortages and earthquakes in one place after another." Now, have we not seen that over the last century? Since 1914, we've had two great world wars, World War I and World War II, and obviously there's been other wars since then. And also have we seen enough earthquakes over the last few years to last us a lifetime? It's been horrendous, isn't it? And obviously we've had floods and all kinds of things, and obviously there's been definitely a lot of famine over the last 100 years. Now, granted, there's always been wars, and there's probably always been earthquakes, and there's probably always been famines, but this is a composite sign that was being given here. And definitely the frequency of these things happening has got worse over the years than it has got better. And just continuing on from verse 8, it says, "All these things are a beginning of pangs of distress. And people will deliver you up to tribulation, and will kill you, and you will be objects of hatred by all the nations on account of my name." It says, "Then also many will be stumbled and will betray one another, and will hate one another. And many false prophets will rise and mislead many. And because of the increasing of lawlessness, the love of a greater number will cool off. But he that has endured to the end is the one who will be saved." And it says that, "And this good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth for a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come." So we see there basically the signs of the times really that we're living in now, even to the point of the preaching work basically being committed throughout the earth, which is basically one of the things I'm doing now. So this is basically something that we shouldn't really be surprised about. But we might think, well, with all these bad things happening, does God care? Does he really care about us as people? Well, yes, he does, because we can see that. We've already had a precedent set here for us, because in Genesis chapter 6, I'll have to go right to the front of the Bible here. So, and from verse 5, I mean, if you want to read this in your own Bible as well. Consequently, Jehovah saw that the badness of man was abundant in the earth, and every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only bad all the time. And Jehovah felt regret that he had made men in the earth, and he felt hurt at his heart. So Jehovah said, I am going to wipe men whom I have created off the surface of the ground, from man to domestic animal, to moving animal, to flying creature of the heavens, because I do regret that I have made them. But Noah found favour in the eyes of Jehovah. So we know that he was rescued, and he created the ark and preserved some of the animals there. And a lot of people think, well, does God care, and what's he going to do about it? Well, obviously at that time, at Noah's day, he did do something about it there and then, didn't he? So we have got a precedent set there that he will do something about what's going on in the world today. Now, just to go into a little bit more about that, if we turn to Revelation chapter 21, and it's verses 3 and 4, let's just get there, going from one end of the Bible to the other. Right, and in 3 and 4 it says there, with that I heard a loud voice from the throne say, look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them. Now this is the point here. And he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away. Now, there we are. We're seeing here that the former things have passed away. So all the badness basically in the world today that maybe brings tears to our eyes, or, all the badness will be gone. And just to back that up a little bit more, in Psalms 37, in fact it's a good idea to read Psalm 37 all the way through, because it is actually very encouraging really to note some of the verses in there. But I want to pay particular attention to verses 10 and 11, and I'll just get there. There we are. So it says there, and just a little while longer, and the wicked one will be no more, and you will certainly give attention to his place, and he will not be. But the meek ones themselves will possess the earth, and they will indeed find exquisite delight in the abundance of peace. So basically that's a promise in the Bible there, that those good ones will be preserved, and they will live in exquisite delight in the abundance of peace. So why do we see so many bad things happen? Well, this is quite a simple one actually, because a war broke out in heaven, and Satan the devil and his demons were thrown out. So and we find that in Revelation chapter 12 in verse 9, and it says there, so down the great dragon was hurled, the original serpent, the one called devil and Satan, who is misleading the entire inhabited earth. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels were hurled down with him. And I heard a loud voice in heaven say, now have come to pass the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God, and the authority of his Christ, because the accuser of our brothers has been hurled down, who accuses them day and night before our God. And they conquered him because of the blood of the Lamb, and because of the word of their witnessing, and they did not love their souls even in the face of death. On this account be glad, you heavens, and you who reside in them. Woe for the earth and for the sea. And this is the point. Because the devil has come down to you, having great anger, knowing he has a short period of time. So because his death is basically imminent, he's basically in a bad temper, and basically he's trying to cause a great deal of adversity on the earth, which is obviously quite apparent. So if all these things are right, then how much more so is that previous verse I read in Revelation 21, where it talks about the former things passing away. So that gives us a great deal of encouragement, doesn't it, for the future. And we might think, well, why has God allowed it to go on for so long? Well, just returning back to Matthew 24, we've already read this verse actually, but I'm just going to reiterate it to you because this is the point here. And this good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth for a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. So, basically, that good news of the kingdom has to be preached first, before, as it says there, the end will come. So, that's why this is happening at the moment. So, and just to look at another Bible verse, actually, it's actually in 2 Peter chapter 3. Let's get there. If you want to look this up in your own Bible. And we're actually starting from verse 9 here, and it says there, Jehovah is not slow respecting his promise, as some people might consider slowness, but he is patient with you, because he does not desire any to be destroyed, but desires all to attain to repentance. So basically, he's giving people a chance to turn around, and he's giving people a chance to come to get to know him and to come and obey his commandments. So he's not being slow as we might consider slow, but he's given us time basically to because he doesn't desire any one of us to be destroyed. So it's good really that he really cares about us enough to give us that time to come around, and also for us to get to know and learn about the truth what's contained in the Bible. So that's wonderful, isn't it? So despite all the things that we see happening in the world today, which is very, very sorrowful and very, very depressing at times, there is actually some good news. If you say every dark cloud has a silver lining, well, the silver lining is this basically, is what's contained in here, because it does give us a great deal of hope for the future. And don't take my word for it, have a look yourself. And if you would like a free home Bible study at a time and place to suit you, please navigate your browser to jw.org and follow the links online to arrange for a Bible study in your language and in your country. So believe me, I did that, and basically I found a great deal of encouragement, and it's great that I found the truth that's contained in the Bible there. So if you would like to do the same, then certainly I would certainly encourage that, and but don't take my word for it. Have a look for yourself, and believe me, like me, you'll be really, really surprised at what you find out, what you learn, and believe me, it certainly puts a smile on your face at the end of the day. And a lot of the counsel and guidance that we found in the Bible is actually one big step actually to finding a little bit of happiness amongst all this misery that we see around us. So because God didn't wake up one morning and just devise a whole heap of laws for us to follow. They're actually there for our benefit and for the benefit of others if we follow them. So and who wiser is there to ask when it comes to finding the best way to live but the Creator himself, who created all things, so including you and me. So do it today. Don't take my word for it. But don't take my word for it, find out for yourself. So I hope that's helped you anyway, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.